Sweet. Thank you guys for taking the time and welcome. Aloha everybody from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another week of the podcast. As you can see, Thompson looks a little bit different this week. No, I'm just kidding. Thompson is unable to join the podcast this week, but you know what that means. Yeah, we're bringing in 4 different people. Yeah, so we got a different group of people that have never been with each other before. And on top of that, of course, you guys know Lucky and you guys know Junpei. They've been on the podcast many times before, but we got 2 new faces today. Usually it's been like only 1 new face a week, but we got 2 new faces here and some people that you might know from the community. We have Sample Text as well as we have Mars here. Yeah, so hello. I think what we haven't done in a while was do an intro. So maybe you can start with Sample Text, do an intro on yourself, right? You make videos or you stream or whatnot, give how you got into Summoners War, and then we'll do the same with Mars, and then we'll get right into it.
All right. Oh, thanks for having me, first of all. I've been listening to your podcast for quite some time. It's fucking awesome. But I'm Sample, and I've been doing YouTube for I think 3 years at this point, and just got playing Summoners War like everyone else, just being bored. And I kind of just kept playing, and recording YouTube videos definitely kept me playing. It's a lot of fun just being engaged with the community, and being on podcasts like these, totally awesome. So yeah.
Thanks, Sample Text. How about yourself, Mars? Go ahead.
I'm Mart. For the people who don't know me, I do videos on YouTube about Summoners War about 2 times a year or something.
You used to do a lot more, man.
I did more back in the day. Nowadays, I actually work at Comtours, thanks to Summoners War, and I'm also very happy to be here on this podcast. I'm so excited. I've been watching most of them. So thank you for having me as well.
Oh, one last thing. Where are you guys from? Where you guys currently live right now? Sample Text and Marts, just so people kind of know as well.
So we're actually both Austrians, so we got to know each other in person a long time ago already, but I think you moved, didn't you?
Yeah, I moved to Germany thanks to the job at Comtours. So I moved from Austria to Germany a year ago. Not even quite.
Hey, that's what's up.
And we all miss you, man.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen you in a while. Honestly, I actually got to speaking of Germany, I actually got to meet both Sample Text and Mars for the first time, if you guys remember, in 2018. Remember for the regionals in Germany that I was commentating. That was the first time I met you. Was that the first time you met them as well, Junpei? Because you were there too. You were commentating for the French, right?
Yeah, no, I think that was the first time I met you, but
oh, you met me as well? Wait, that might be the first time I met you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I think that's for sure where I saw Sample for the first time, and Mars. I think I had met Mars before, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I also can't remember.
Wow, that's where it all started.
Yeah.
2018 EU regionals. That's where it all started, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I remember when I saw Island, I was standing in front of hey Island, how's it going? And he's watching it, looking at me, trying to figure out who the fuck I am, and after 5 minutes, oh, it's Mars. Oh, now I know.
Oh, I mean, your videos don't really have your face in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only the voice. Yeah, the one-shot videos. If you guys don't know, back when Mars started making those videos, it was hot cake, baby. It still is. Yeah, the one-shot videos. One shot this, one shot that. That's always good fun. But all right, thank you guys for taking the time to join me on the podcast today. I appreciate it very much. Lucky, also good to see you as well. When was the first time I met you, Lucky? Was it for the Korea finals?
It would have been America's Cup.
Oh, I remember America's Cup. That's right. That was the first time I met you. That's right. And then I saw you a second time that year in Korea. I remember now. Yeah. My wife still remembers you too, by the way. And, that barbecue dinner that we had. Yeah, we had some very fun carvels during that barbecue dinner. It was great.
Yeah, that was good times.
All right, let's get on to the topics here. Topic number 1 today is balance patch units. So anytime there's a balance patch, I bring different people on. We talk about the units that got buffed, units that are of interest that are being played now, and what you think about them. What's cool, what's exciting, what's OP, what's not from the balance patch. Obviously, we have Rocky, we have Bella, and so many other units that were touched upon too. So pick any unit or pick any part of the balance patch, and feel free to start. Yeah, anybody go? Maybe Junpei, you want to start?
I would go with the part that is not in the balance patch.
Oh yeah, what is that?
Which means all these freaking Hathor, Ganymede, Verds, that's revenge procs, Lauren, that is way too OP, Aegir as well. So I think that was the disappointing part. But I mean, we're kind of used to it with Come To Us. They don't like to nerf units. They did it in the past. I felt 3 years ago they kind of nerfed unit, But right now, it's really hard to get a nerf from them, and I think a lot of the community was disappointed. Although, because I was expecting it, in a way, I was not too disappointed. Like, I would rate this patch 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, but
Same.
I know that a lot of people were like, "Damn, like do something about Hathor." Like she speaks in every game at very high level, or she's banned. But like you have to do something, right? It's way too OP. So yeah, I think. Like I don't know what you guys think, but it was missing stuff in this patch.
Fair analysis. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the nerfs were really missing, but what I want to focus on is Ileana. Because maybe I have her. Maybe because I have her, that's why I want to focus on her.
One shot Ileana. One shot Ileana.
I don't know, maybe a one-shot Lauren or something like that. Nobody expects that probably, but no, Ileana is like one of my favorite monsters to use right now. She's like how to say, like a budget Wusa maybe? She reminds me a lot of Wusa. But it was always in the air. I had her for years in my storage, and either she's gonna become HOH or she's gonna get like a huge buff. And now we're here at the buff, and I'm just so happy about it.
I personally feel like she's a better Wusa just because of how she plays with the just because of her second skill essentially. Because cleanses and gives full attack bar. Can't help
every 2 turns.
Every 2 turns exactly.
So what do you guys think? Violet? You think Violet is 100% on her, right?
Definitely, yeah. So I've been using her a lot in Special League, and that buff, pretty much saved her. I thought she was going to be HOH eventually as well.
Yeah.
So,
I do feel like Wusa is like pretty good still because of his base speed, but outside of that, she's just like straight up better.
Yeah,
she can protect a unit for 2 turns. I think
that's
it's
big.
Really amazing. If the opponent has no strip, then like you can put this buff on a Mina or something, and she's gonna just destroy the opponent team. I really think she got a really strong buff. Right now we are in Special League, so it's kind of hard to measure her impact on RTA. But I still think she's gonna be used at high level. Maybe she's gonna be used as much as Fran. I think for people that gets her.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be used a lot, and I think those units that have sick violent procs, the ones that are disgusting, she is going to be added onto the list, especially with that S2 cleanse and attack bar boost. It's just nuts, dude. It's just too nuts.
I think that with an eye gear, it's just amazing.
No. Any other units here? Actually, something I want to touch up on. See, units like Ileana, and kind of going back to Junpei, how he kind of thought outside of the box and kind of talked about the balance patch and units that were not affected. Do you feel like Comptuous is like it? I think we know for a fact they don't like the feeling of nerfing units, right? We kind of know that. We kind of gauge that. Yeah. So do you think they're trying to make these other units to be stronger, to make them more viable, to kind of shake up the meta, right? More immunity, I guess, with Ileana and stuff like that can potentially help. You think that's what they're trying to do?
I think that's their. They don't want to kill their business, right? Like they're trying their best to make the game better. It's just that if you boost so many units like Ileana, it doesn't erase some problems, right? For sure, it's a new immunity and it can cleanse, so it could be a response to Hathor, but it's not enough, right? So in my opinion, they're doing their best, but it's not the right direction. I would still go for nerfing some units that were buffed in the past or that were created one way and that are not that don't have many counters. Like you cannot counter except if you have Tianlong, but even with Tianlong it's not really effective. But you cannot counter proc on very high. Like you can be the best, you can be faster than the opponent, but if the vert counters, then you're fast, and there is no counter to this counter. You know what I mean? So even if you buff many units, it's not enough to counter the 2 OP units in a way, I think.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised that they didn't have Hathor's second skill as part of... You know how they had the new glancing section at the bottom of the balance patch? I was really surprised not to see Hathor's second skill listed there as one of these units that, if you glance, it doesn't have the effects applied.
Wait, can you glance and sleep? Oh, you can glance and strip. Yeah, you can glance and strip.
Glance and strip.
Right.
But not sleep. So I think the strip was already a big enough play. If they actually got rid of that aspect, I felt like that would have been probably enough of a nerf to her to at least get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
True.
I think going back on what
about that.
Junpei said around balance patches, the last really meta-changing balance patch was when Molong was nerfed.
Yeah, that was. A big
Otherwise,
one.
it's just been literally just stacking on little things since then. It'd be good to see one more patch like that come through soon to see how it shifts the meta for this upcoming SWC in this year. Because I think one of those per year is probably what they should aim for to really change everyone's mindset about how they should approach RTA. It's been a while since we've seen one of those come through, so yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to push and advocate for units to be made right through Second Awaken and units to be buffed in order to try to counteract, right? Two of the biggest examples recently was, like Miho, right? Coming in to kind of counter the crit rate units, right? Like Verd, right? It kind of is there to do that. So it's there, but not enough is what we're saying, right? It doesn't address the revenging issue, but it's there.
Like you're I mean, it's very Miho is an amazing unit. It's really hard to counter as well if you're going with Verd comps, but then you're praying the whole once you're 1v4 with your Miho and there's a Verd there, you're just praying for them to crit all the way through and then you can eventually kill. But it's not enough, right?
Right.
It's just hoping. But
right.
Yeah.
Kind of helps with Diana's
amazing.
as well too, right? So a couple of units that were kind of addressed with that one unit.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
think
I genuinely-
oh, go ahead, Sample. Go for it.
I genuinely think that like she was a little bit overrated just because people don't know how to play against it for the first like 4 days. You saw a lot of those like 1v4s. Like Taki got a bunch of those. But
Topol got a
nowadays,
bunch too. Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, it's crazy. Like just right away and like put insane vamp runes on it. It's crazy. But like I feel like the water one now is a lot more impactful. If you look at it,
Mina,
like it's a lot easier to incorporate in your
It
team.
hits so hard, dude. It hits so
It's
hard.
crazy.
Yeah.
And plus, Mina can kill Miho because you build it on low crit, and then if there's a control on Miho, then on the second skill you're almost sure not to land a crit.
Yeah.
But I think Mina and Miho are a great addition to RTA.
Definitely. I think that, what Lucky said earlier about, Molong being a big patch, I don't know how they felt about it. Maybe Comptos didn't like that, so they tried to start buffing units instead of nerfing things directly, because I think they found some success on certain units. The biggest example, which I was going to say earlier, was Artemil, right? Artemil now is not as crazy. Nobody's like, oh my god, you have Artemil, it's OP now, right? There's like units that they changed, quote unquote, like Lauren, and kind of units we figured out that kind of counter it. Elucia, that was Second Awakened, that counter it. So I'm kind of scared because I kind of want a big nerf to change the meta, but I'm kind of scared that they see success in doing that, so that's why they're taking this kind of approach to the balance patches. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I feel.
I feel like nerfs always have this big kind of risk to them to upset the community. Let's look at the Twins nerf. Like for example, it was a big uproar. As we see it right now, Twins can still be fine used. They are like still very usable in Dragons and Necro. No problem to use them at all. They just been more like nerfed for RTA, maybe to cut down on these really fast teams in RTA to make sure to make this match a bit longer and not having a Martina in there and a Shiner who just like shred through the whole match in like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I think they just want to preserve a bit of longer matches and not fuck things up with hard nerfs.
Right.
In my
Yeah,
opinion.
what you said was very important. The uprising when there was the
It was pretty bad.
nerf was crazy. Like for the people who follows Reddit, and for sure for you who works at Come to Us, maybe
I'm gonna
you
quit
received, like
my
some
twins.
death threatening or something. I
I'm
don't know.
gonna
but
quit Summoner's War. My whole guild quit Summoner's War. Twins.
Yeah.
It's like so nuts, dude.
So many times. But so that probably that's what's Come to Us is scared of. Like
Right.
if you have an LG unit that is very strong and it's nerfed, and it's your only LG unit, you probably wanna like quit the game because of that. So I also think that's why their strategy is more buff oriented. But we didn't talk about Lucas, and I had
go ahead, bring that up.
I had prepared Lucas before when they announced the patch. I was like, okay, mine was already skilled up, so I was like, I put Shihu's Rune on him. He was like he was very fast. He had everything, and then the buff goes out. But I was sleeping at this moment, and then 2 hours later they take it back, so I couldn't try it. I know that there was some abuse with the Dark Beast.
Yeah.
But then
100 million damage or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Crazy shit. But I don't think like they didn't up him in the end, right? The just the second skill, but it's not enough. I tried him this way, and I was really disappointed. Mina is way better than this guy, so I dropped him off. I was kind of disappointed with this, but again, like it looked very OP. So
yeah, I feel like it could help.
I think he looked good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I feel it could have been good
sorry.
in dungeons. You know, I mean, and then maybe I don't know if they feel like they should make a damage cap, but I don't think there'd be anything wrong with the damage cap in the elemental rifts.
Yeah.
So that could have addressed the issue and just left Lucas the way he was,
I
right?
think
Just make a
so.
damage cap. It's fine. Like 1.5 or 2 mils the max one unit can do one time, and okay. Or 500k is the max you can do, right? Set a cap. It wouldn't be too bad, I think. I don't know. What were you gonna say, Lucky?
I think the 100% shield was what he was missing because he was very squishy unit. So they could have downed a little bit the damage multiplier because it was really high with the new shield. Because I think what they didn't perceive is that they increased by, I think, 42% average, they say, the damage done by the shield, but the shield was already doubled. So it was a lot of additional damage compared to pre-buff. So I think they could have toned down a little bit the damage increaser and then keep the 100% damage shield. And this would have been a very good unit to use, but not too OP in my opinion. With the cap, again, with the cap.
I think they could have just added something to say that it just doesn't apply against bosses. And it would have been fine.
True,
he would work perfectly fine in PvP. And he's not really, the way he's built, I feel like he's made for PvP content. That shield, he needs that shield essentially.
Yeah,
that's what it was missing, and it looked really good when I first read it. And then when they took it away within a few hours, it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But I'm using the wind agent, no, the wind fighter, the wind Newstone fighter, and he's like crazy good right now.
Is he procs a lot, right?
Or
He procs a lot. Yeah.
And it's basically very consistent, which I love about it. Like if you have decent runes on it, it's pretty guaranteed.
Like Yen, you would say?
Sorry, what?
Like the the wind Rakshasa?
No, I was talking about the wind Newstone fighter.
Oh, but he's saying it's like that.
When you
He's
say,
getting
when you say it
a
takes additional turns, it's like the way Yen does, or
she's like kind of like a Wind Antares nowadays, I think.
I think the Logan's a little bit more
cool
consistent.
well.
Yeah, Logan's a little bit more consistent
exactly.
on the turn game. Yeah, so I think we'll probably see some people putting that on defense maybe, or definitely using it offensively. It's just so consistent. Like I've always said, anything that's consistent or like kind of guaranteed is always considered potentially really, really good in the game.
like Rocky, right?
Yeah.
Rocky.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Rocky. I tested her out. She's nuts. She's actually nuts.
She's crazy.
She's nuts, dude.
She's very. I think that can shift a little bit the meta with the Vanessa Triana.
Yep.
So I think the up is incredible on her, but that makes her an insane unit right now.
Right. She was always decent, but now like it just takes it to the next level. You know how many times they buffed her? It's like a Daphnis. She was
4 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times they buffed her. Right. The endure when you kill, the no glancing, the no revive. You know, and like everything. Like it's crazy. Now the death,
endure,
right? Yeah.
The skill 2. That
Skill
makes
2.
you play again.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy good unit now.
She kills
I think,
everything except Beast Rider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get that in, I get it.
Yeah. Were you about to say that too?
I mean, I kind of feel like the Beast Riders, I don't want to say it, but I feel like they're a little bit too overtuned.
They're
Like,
pretty good.
What's the point of running like a Perna over a Beast Rider nowadays? Like the Fire one, for instance. It's like a straight up better Perna, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Beast Riders are strong. I mean, we keep talking about them week after week, and nobody's saying, oh, it's actually trash. Oh, it's actually trash. It's actually good, and they're all consistently good because they have a brand new mechanic, right? It's not a revive, and when they get off their mount and they get revived, they go back on their mount. So it's like a totally different mechanic in the game, which is crazy, right? Yeah. That's actually crazy. So unless, like, even if you have a Rocky, unless you nuke S3 on when it's in the human form, it's pointless. It's pointless. Nuking it in the beast form, it still revives after. That still revives after, so it's crazy. It's actually pretty crazy.
Does someone know if Mephisto counters the double life? If Mephisto is in the game, do they get off of their beast as well, or do they just die instantly?
Yeah, they do, because it's not a revive.
It's not considered a revive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just considered a passive, so it's like she's still there.
And if you Tisarian it, like if you,
I think Oblivion actually affects it. I think Oblivion will kill it because it's a passive, so it'll shut it off. So it will just die as a beast. That's my speculation. I haven't tested it though, but that's what it from wording it sounds like. Yeah. Oblivion does kill. All right, looks like chat's confirming that there. But yeah, we
again.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say again, there's not too many units with Oblivion in the game, and Tizarian is really falling off. Yeah. So
I think I'm just disappointed because it's just not enough changes in general. Like it's very minor changes, but also in general, you see like those huge blocks of text where they just repeat stuff just to like make it look a little bit bigger. I personally think that they should. I don't know. There's a lot of net 5s that still need some buffs, like LD net 5s in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
like, let's say you own a light unicorn or a dark unicorn. Like I would feel really bad about those people, to be honest.
Yeah,
Gildnir. Yeah. Still not that.
Hey, at least Shazam got put into a spot where at least they can use him in kill content now. Like at least he's sitting next to his other brothers now, instead of like all the way like 10 feet, 10 million miles away from his regular brothers, right? Of beast monks. So nice touch, I guess.
And what do you think about the buff for Fermion, the skill 2, that is going to be every 2 turns?
Fermion and Vela. I already tested Vela. Vela's already good. Yeah. People are going to be using Vela even more. Yep.
It's going to be insane.
It's like a Perna S2, right? Except now you're a tanky unit that does like hell of a lot of damage. That thing hurts, dude. That's a legit punishment. Yeah.
And it provokes.
Yeah, it provokes. But they did nerf it a little bit. They did nerf it because if it glances, right, or it won't provoke. Yeah. They changed that, but it's minor. Unless they have glancing debuff, you're gonna pretty much almost never glance. You're dark, right? So it's not a big deal.
It's a dark unit. Yeah.
And we didn't talk either about the Leo. That I think is a complete nerf. Because other than the fact that, of course, when he glances against Okeanos, for example, it's not going to push back the attack bar. The 15% is actually not helping. Because against Nemesis unit, if you hit an Ariel, you're not going to make him proc. Because 15% is too much, and you cannot hit him too hard. So for Arena right now, like a normal Arena with Leo Bastet Evolution, for example, well, you cannot do it anymore against... Nemesis unit. So I think Leo is just to be used now with people that got Ragdoll and Verde Heil and all these bullshit units, and that in Arena you're kind of fucked. I was not focusing on Arena since a long time. I'm focusing on RTA and other stuff. So I was just doing my wings with Leo Bastet Evolution, but now I don't even do them anymore because this killed it. So I need to outspeed or not do them, or I just do my rivals. But.
Yeah, I'd like to see them maybe change it so it's a higher attack bar reduction than. I mean, yeah, instead of 15, a little bit more would be nice. Then I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the more you go, and the less you have chance to proc the nemesis of the healer, like Praha and Ariel. So they're always gonna cut between your 2 Lucians. So
right. Okay. I see what you mean. But I was just talking about general usage. But yeah, a lot of people definitely talked about the Leo not being able to consistently attack bar reduce anymore. It's true. What do you think about the threat state? I know it's minor, but threat state changed so that you take 15% less damage on the person with threat state. I think they're setting up maybe to make some new units with threat state, right? And with the new units with threat state, I mean, just that little addition can actually make them a lot stronger because we don't know what these kits of any new units will be with threat state. So I'm actually curious to see where that goes with that, because right now it's only Ophelia, right?
Yeah. And it's underwhelming. I think threat state shouldn't be strippable, in my opinion.
That's a good one.
Because Jeanne is like, okay, if you're provoked for 2 turns. There's nothing you can do, or you have a Veramos. Okay, but other than that, if you're provoked, you're provoked. And if you have a Chilling, just looks at an Ophelia and laughs his ass off, because like
you just strip it. It's gone.
He just strips it immediately away, and that's the whole skill gone. And I feel like that hurts. Even the 50% is nice, but it's still not enough to make threat like
actual threat.
Yeah, an actual threat, exactly.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past, like making it unstrippable or making it so that the unit can only actually like use S1 or something like that, right? Would give a little bit more value to threat state, right? Like I said, anything that makes it consistent is what gives it value, right? Not being able to strip makes it more consistent. Making it so a unit can only use S1 against threat state is also consistent. So that could be a big buff and change the threat to Ophelia there for sure, and any threat state unit they release. Okay.
No, I actually talked.
Oh, go ahead.
I actually talked to some friends of mine, and we discussed it. Like, it would also be pretty awesome if you could just not use any AOE's in that regard. Like, once the threat buff is up, you just can't use any AOE's. That would be like another way of like somewhat buffing it. It's like pretty minor, but
right. You can still use any other skill as long as it's not considered an AOE skill.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that as well. That definitely falls under it. All right. We talked about again this week about some good balance patch units and whatnot. Actually interested what you think. I've played a lot of different games in the past that, balance patches are meant to like buff and nerf units, but I think a lot of times people get into this mentality with balance patches and they're like, we want to try to balance everything, right? That's not feasible, and that's not what it's about. It's about making things, dare I say, strong, and make things that are really weak that will change the meta, right? Take a total shift, right? These units, and this becomes really strong, and this becomes really weak, right? It's all about that shift. And I think oftentimes people try to balance everything out, which becomes difficult. What are your thoughts on balance patches and how it should be approached?
Now, personally, I think that what a lot of people forget about is also changes to like PvE content, for instance. Like a lot of balance patches, they might seem like pretty minor, but like 1 or 2 months afterwards, there's like a major PvE patch. Like with Elodrill, for instance, I actually now really like him, using him in like dimensional holes and things like that. Mm-hmm. And he's great for that. And I never really used him before that. The balance patch hit, and I was genuinely underwhelmed. But like after a couple of weeks, the new patch hit, and I felt like really good about that. So I don't know, maybe.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna move on to the. You have something left, or we're gonna move to the next topic?
Yeah. Just in regards to what you said, I think the problem is when you shift a lot of things. First, the players are never happy, and second, the problem is you don't have unlimited resources to skill up your monsters, because the runes, that's okay, right? You can move them on once per month. You can just shift them to other monsters, but if you rune 10 monsters every 3 months and buff 10 others in order to just shift a little bit the meta, people are gonna constantly run out of devilments and stuff, and then it's gonna be very hard. So if we had unlimited devilments or way more devilments, it would be easier to do that, but I don't think that's what come to us. They love their packs, right? So I don't think that it would be the direction that they would take, they would go for, but I like the idea. I just don't think it's feasible.
Okay.
I think the current frequency of balance patches are good. Like after every RTA season, having a balance patch to kind of try shift things. It doesn't necessarily have to always impact RTA. Like as you said, the last one was all PvE. Well, a lot of it was PvE impacting, or Guild War impacting, or even like Labyrinth impacting. So seeing that sort of changes does help as well. Not everything has to always impact RTA. And it's good to see, like, for example, Samurais now, I think, are pretty good. Like, they're in a pretty good place now. The shield helps them out quite a lot. If you are lacking an AoE damage dealer, well, now you've got a Nat 4 option that can self-sustain a little bit better and can almost guarantee sort of Supreme Skywolf, so 2 AoEs. It makes them a bit more usable as well. So, like, seeing those sort of changes come through, it's pretty good. It does open up more windows for people to be able to get access to units that they couldn't use before. Like, if you were relying on a Nat 5 that you didn't have, well, hey, now there's a Nat 4 equivalent almost.
Right. Okay. Went over some good balance patch notes here, and hopefully as people are testing things out, we'll probably figure out more game-changing units or more game-changing combos, especially when the RTA season really hits, right? We got Special League going on for a little bit longer, and then when the real RTA season hits, that's when I expect people to be testing and full testing a lot of these units for the balance patch, as well as even Beast Riders. Because Beast Riders were kind of new towards the end of the season last season, I feel like we didn't see them as much, right? Because usually the testing's done at the early season. People don't want to like lose points testing anything. So hopefully we see some more testing on them, and we figure out new meta, new units, because it's also our job to figure out units and change the meta as well, right? Comp to us and us got to kind of work together on changing the thing, right? Changing the meta, making things more viable. All right, moving on to topic number 2. A little bit of a change up here. It's a topic that we had a long time ago that we haven't brought back, which I think would be really good. I think we talked about this when Foi was still on the podcast and whatnot. But rune sets. It's been a while since we had any new rune sets or new runes. Do you have any ideas for any of these rune sets? Things that my ideas would be, for example, being able to have 3 set rune sets and 6 set rune sets to maybe change it up a little bit, as well as I don't know exactly what type of effects they would have, but you guys have any suggestions for the any rune sets?
How about like a rune set, a 2-set or 3-set rune set? When you die, you have a 20% chance that your monster revives.
Whoa, that's OP.
Okay.
Is it Rocky thinks otherwise?
RNG.
That's really RNG, but
I like that.
That would add more violent to the game, right? It's kind of a violent proc.
Yeah, I like that.
Does it depends. Like, do you revive with the same attack bar? Do you revive full or no attack bar?
I think you just revive where you were. I think that's how a lot of revives are, right? You kind of revive where your health was. Some of them have that, some of them don't. Some revivers do, some survivors don't.
Is it compounding as well? So if you die once, you have a chance of coming back again next turn.
Oh, no.
It's 20% chance. You die, you come back, and then you get caught again.
Rocky OP in every lineup. Yeah, things like that. That would be interesting.
It would make for some nice clickbait YouTube title. Oh, he revived 20 times. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Mark's next video. Yeah, one shot, but I got fucked.
I had thought about a rune set that would be in 4 runes that would provide invulnerability for the first turn. So
What's that?
I think that I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the unit would be invincible.
Oh, invincibility. I see.
Yeah. So like for the first turn, like Will would do, but it would be a 4-set rune. I think that would shift the 1 turn comps, like the cleave comps, a little bit. You would have to bring a stripper minimum.
All right, now we would have double shield will invincibility teams that would come out as second turn teams, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that could add a little bit. Like you would expect a unit to be on a certain set, and then you get this set instead, and then you're fucked because you cannot kill it right away.
Right.
Like on a Daphne's, for example, something like that.
Katarina would be interesting. Now you just need an attack buff for like a Kali, right? First turn Kali, give the attack buff. Katarina has invincibility already.
Then because it would be a 4 rune set,
it would do less damage, obviously.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have the bonus. True. Something basic would be like, I mean, we have the sets like determination and stuff to give you stats, right? Resistance, accuracy, all that stuff. What about like something to get some more crit damage, so we can beef out some more damage for PvE? What about stuff that gives crit rate, so we can beef it out and get some crit rate? Because one of the hardest units to rune in the game, bruisers, right?
There is
having some extra sets of crit rate. What's that?
There's blade runes.
We got blade runes already.
No, but for your whole team. Sorry. Right, that's what. Everybody here is like, this idiot doesn't even know blade runes. I gave the example. I said determination and fight runes, right? So for the whole team, right? A little extra stats for the whole team. Right.
Okay, while we're at it, let's do just speed teams for the whole team. Like speed runes, right?
maybe, right? Like it has to be a small amount, though. Obviously, right? We have fatal sets that is a high percentage, and then we have fight sets that are a low percentage, but the whole team can benefit, right? So could be, right? They could shake it up and potentially have people min max and find other runes as well, right? All the stats that haven't been added yet for that additional runes, like crit damage, crit rate, speed. I think that's all there is. I think everything else we have the runes for, but yeah. Why not?
I think so.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I also thought about a 2 sets of damage reflection, like a percentage of the damage that you receive.
Ooh, I like that. To handle the cleave comps, right? I like that.
Yeah, a little bit, and then it could surprise if your opponent is attacking you with a very low life and kill him as well. It would be a good addition to Lydia. So I think it could be helpful for some units.
Obviously, it wouldn't stack with Lydia, though, but it would be able to be runed on the other units that you're going to draft with Lydia to do more reflect damage.
Now, I've been thinking about this one rune set that could give you a chance of reducing cooldown. Maybe not completely resetting the cooldown of the ability you've used, but reducing it by 2 instead of 1. Something like that after your turn ended. Things like that.
Some Reddit users, I saw it on Reddit that they would like to change the violent by a chance to reduce the cooldown at the end of the turn instead of
that would make it way easier, like PvP.
Yeah, or just having the unit without the cooldown reduction if it procs violent, which would be good, I think. But it would nerf a lot the violence, and I've farmed my dragon all my life, so I would be fucked. But But I think it would kind of bring a balance. But that's always the thing, right? People complain about Via procs, but everyone runs Violence. So I don't know if a change was made again about Violence, because it already got nerfed a long time ago. I don't know if people would like it in the end or not. I don't know if it would kill the game or not, because whether we like it or not, it still brings RNG, right?
We like it. We like the reason why we like it is because we also hate it, and we hate it because we like it. Honestly, that's the truth. That's the way it works. Yeah, same thing with LDs. Just gotta put that out there. I think that would be very interesting. Like a 4 set that gives you like a 50% chance or some percent chance to reduce your cooldown by 1 or 2. You know what I mean? That could be fun, because I would see units that are like support type units that would be ruined on that, right? Because instead of going violent, then you would go that for more consistency to have more sustain, right? More turns. You won't be able to move, but you can get your sustain. Imagine a Fran, right? Always having heals, right? You can see it now. Like I can see like SWC, right? There's violent procs on the damage dealing units, and then like the 4 setter that reduces cooldown is like an animation for it. Everybody's like, yeah, or you know, whatever it is. That could be cool. I like that.
On the topic of RNG, I have also another fun idea for a set, like a 2 set, and you can also stack it like 4 set and 6 set, like giving 3 times the 2 set. It would be if a monster gets attacked, it has like, if it has only 2 runes of that set, it gets a 5% chance of getting a turn immediately. It's like a Lich, like Antares.
Like
Dude, people are gonna hate you for making that.
If it has like four of these runes, it gets like 10%. And if
let me know what dungeon. Let me know what dungeon. I'm farming now. Well, let me know what dungeon. I need my 300 speed set on that. Where's what dungeon?
Yeah, everyone. This would destroy the speed meta. Everyone would go with these runes and will and just wait to proc. But
this is super RNG, because you had to sacrifice every other set, because only 2 runes of these because you only have 5% chance. 5% is not much. Right. I mean, of course, it can lead to some really funny fuckery.
5% is not much, but Arnamiel, when he's on Despair, he has 200% chance Despair, right?
Oh yeah,
you know that. So
5% isn't much. Have you met my friend Google Play? Huh?
I guess, like Island said earlier, Mars is like looking out for some extra YouTube content. I think we can all agree on that.
1 shot? Twice? You know? But that's good. Even though ideas might not be that crazy, it's good to throw it out, because that's where, you know, we can figure out things and give them ideas, potentially make something. It might not be exactly like that, but something like that. I want to see more RNG though, honestly. As toxic as it is, I want to have some more RNG stuff, man.
I would like to see more sets that are actually in the game, more useful, because
PvE.
For PvE, like the beginners can run pretty much everything on energy and whatnot, but for endgame users, the kind of runes we use are just will, swift, violence. That's the main sets, like maybe 80 or 85% of everything that we've got, and then the rest is not used. So maybe starting with these that we already have, because another thing is, if they add more runes, we have to farm more other contents, right?
But it's better for them too, though, as a company, right? You gotta think I like to think from bolt shoes, right? Bolt shoes give us some stuff to farm, so we have to farm. Sucks that we have to farm, but brings them more content. I don't know.
Yeah, but then you just have 24 hours per day, right? Like you cannot farm everything.
Welcome to the life of a Summoners War player.
I was kind of disappointed when I found out which sort of runes are going to be ancient runes, because I felt like that would have been a really good opportunity for Comtiers to like just have fatal, energy, like guard, focus, endure runes, and that just be that as ancient runes. Even though that like the set itself is pretty bad, just having those better stats would kind of swap up the meta. But like with will runes also being ancient, I genuinely sighed when I read that. And when I saw swift runes, I was like, no way. So fortunately they put that out of there. Yeah. But will runes is kind of too broken, because it's already like the best set.
Wait, you can get other runes from the ancient runes? I thought there's only will, but like it just automatically disappears on my account and it gets auto sold if it's not will from ancient. Wait, really? I'm just kidding. There's this Despair and Vampire as well that I think can have some value. But yeah, I know what you mean. Give more value to the regular basic sets, right? Instead of the ones that we know and love are pretty good.
Would have anyone farmed it if there was no will runes? I don't know, man. I wouldn't have bothered, I think, for fatal runes.
But to be honest with you, like playing on beginner accounts, it's like part of my content, and I can pretty much guarantee that if you clear like all of your 100 energy, you're already getting at least one upgrade. And if you're like mid game, that it doesn't really matter if it's a will rune. I mean, it's of course probably best, but like if you get a really good blade rune, that's pretty much already game changing right there. Like I don't know.
Yeah. When you're early to mid game, yeah. But I mean, for the end game, I don't think Matt would go and spend 100 energy with 2 minutes average per run just to get an energy rune with maybe a quadruple to 31. Like he doesn't care. He already has like Vio and Swift and everything with.
Yeah, he's just going for the will runes. That's all he's going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What about a set that ramps up? Yeah, like it's a set that over time gives you more damage or more health, but it takes X amount of turns. Right? It can bring some danger.
That'd be good.
Yeah, like a 4 set, it's like it can ramp up to like 60% attack or something like that, but it takes like 4 turns or 5 turns, and it kind of brings value to the unit now because as your opponent sees it, they're like, oh crap, like I gotta get rid of that Leica or that Chow or whatever it is that is gonna heavy nuke me, right?
Wow, that Fran deals like 20k after, after some rounds.
Oh yeah, this is good for Bards. One shot day after setup.
Now one
RTA.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I feel like one rune set. The two Austrians are like beating each other. Come on.
Okay, you go.
Come on, Marts. Come on, you can do
it. Go ahead, Marts. Go ahead, Marts.
In RTA, when it really stacks up with the runes to 60%, and then you play long enough, it also stacks up to 60%. At one turn, like the Triana will deal like 40k damage. Don't you think so?
True.
So because
actually,
RTA matches go a long way. So,
but then that would be your thought, right? Do I want to Violet or do I want to maybe draft for the longer game? Right, might make a different meta. Might make a different meta now because I can just draft to survive instead of draft to fully control. Right, I can bring a full support team and maybe. I mean, that's boring though, but it's different, I guess. Right,
it would be different, definitely.
Yeah, Fran, Lucia, Wusa, you just bring that all in, and you're like, God damn, dude, it's a ticking time bomb, right? It's just so much sustain and cleanse.
I think they could go as well with a kind of a fusion of certain rune types. Like, for example, create a rune type that would be, instead of having 40% increase crit damage, and how much is it with blade runes? 12% or 15%? 15% crit rate? 12?
Yeah, 12.
You could have 4 set runes with like 20% crit D and 6% crit rate. Like kind of in the middle of everything.
True.
Because sometimes you don't need crit rates on certain units, like Mina, for example. So you could go full rage, for example, or full whatever you want. And sometimes you need both, and you're missing a little bit of both, but you don't want one unit to be like full crit rate and no crit damage, or full crit damage and no crit rate. So maybe a little bit of both would be good.
Wait, something like that. Wait, did you just say this, or is this the same idea? It's a rune set that's like a Ditto from like Pokemon, right? It's like a rune set that can just morph. If I have a 4 set and I use this 2 set with it, it's gonna enhance by 25% the set I already have on it, like an enhancing set. Right?
That's not what I said, but it's also a really great idea.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what you said. But that would be kind of new. It's nice, right? I can rune on Rage and then rune this enhancing set and enhance the amount of crit damage I get, right? The bonus I get for that.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah, morphing set. But the biggest one that I've been thinking about that will really shake up the meta is a 2 set that gives you an 11% chance of an additional turn. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I love that idea.
No? No, but okay, never mind. I just an idea. It was just an idea. Like additional turn, right, where you can like proc. It could be exciting. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Never mind. It could be called morph set.
I was thinking with ancient runes, what they could have done is for the ones that increase stats, so like HP, like energy runes, guard, rage, whatever. Those aspects, I reckon they could have bumped up the total gain. So you know how right now with the rage set you get 40 crit damage. They could have made, if you completed an ancient rage set, to be 60%. Something be more, you know what I mean?
I like that.
And I think that makes gives more value to those 2 sets or the 4 sets that you find there.
I like that.
Leave will as it is. I can see it in chat already. People like 2 turns of immunity. No, leave that as it is. Leave it at 1 turn. But all those other ones that stat enhance should give it a bit more of a bonus, I feel. And that makes them a bit more plausible on 2 monsters.
But you know what's scary? That morphing set that we just came up with, that was actually kind of cool, but imagine that with Swift Roots, though.
Oh god.
But that is, I mean, you'd have to go and think about it to see if that actually would be really, really bad, or would it be okay, or be really good. You kind of have to like conceptualize it a little bit more, right? So it really depends on the content or the new dungeon that they'd release. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, shoot, how many more years are we gonna go into the game, and how many more dungeons are we gonna get? Kind of crazy, huh? From day one of Summoner's War till now, how many dungeons we have? It's crazy. There's so much to farm and do.
Would like to see these numbers for sure.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that I really liked that Come To Us said at the beginning that there would not be any packs about ancient runes, and that up until now they kept their words.
I like that
because I think that's amazing for every players, right? Beginners to endgame players. Well, you just have to get lucky, and money doesn't account for your ancient runes. And prop to them, because we know they like packs. And
you know how much money
like
they would make if they made ancient rune packs and ancient memorial packs?
Yeah.
That's we're talking millions of dollars, dude. Like millions of dollars to not do that. Yeah, millions of dollars to not do that. Yet. I don't. They said they're not going to do it, so I assume they're not going to do it. So we'll see.
Well, it's true. Someone pointed out in the chat that they implemented the refills, but the refills are really expensive, and for 10 energies per week, 30 per weeks now.
Not a game changer.
It still gets more chances if you refill. That's true, but come on, it's so much less than a ancient rune pack with a guaranteed legendary 6-star in it, right?
Yeah. Okay, I think we came up with some really good rune set ideas. Like, I want to bring this topic probably for the next couple of weeks, because I think it's a good one to brainstorm more and bring people to talk about it, because I think this could really set up, right, for things for Comp to us to make that can also shake up the meta, right? If there's different mechanics, it brings more units and makes other units viable. If we get like invincibility and stuff like that, right? So it would be very, very interesting to see. Gonna move on to the topic number 3 here. It's a little bit of a shift in questions as well. Pretty simple one though. What content do you enjoy the most right now in Summoners War? Why? And what content do you enjoy the least, and why? Right? This could give us some insight on, what Comp to us maybe can look at, right? From just our 5 opinions, I guess. Start. Go ahead.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead, Juppie.
I think the content that I love the most is RTA, and I think that the content that I hate the most is RTA.
True.
Agreed.
It can ruin your day or just make your day, man. Like, it gives you hopes and downs, and I don't know. It's what gives me the most feelings at the end of the day, right? So, like, I love to have the good runes. I love to have a great monster, but beating just freaking how to play in RTA gives you the best satisfying feeling that you can get in the game, I think.
Have you beaten how to play?
No.
You have a goal, an achievement to hit. Yep.
I'm eventually on the same page, just a little bit different, because I like RTA, but Special League I like a lot. But I don't like the normal RTA right now. The meta has been there for so long, and I'm struggling into C1 because every single fighter free has a Rectal and a Tamil or whatsoever. So I don't. Maybe I'm just stupid or too bad at this game, but at the same time, I really enjoy Special League, and I want to see more of Special League and having it a bit more often in here. Because even though I'm not that good, Special League is still fun to me. And if I play RTA, I feel like one day I'll have a phone-sized hole in my wall. So,
that's a pretty damn big phone, bro. You just sit this big, bro. What kind of phone you buying, bro? What about you, Sappletex?
So I personally do enjoy playing RTA, and I am kind of one of those people that I have my best violence set on a Lauren. I'm guilty. I'm like the Vertihal user and all of that sort of stuff. It's personally, I feel like the content that I enjoy the least, and that's partially just because I don't know. I'm kind of like in an endgame guild, and it kind of sometimes feels like a chore doing Siege, Guild War, Labyrinth, while also like doing my regular everyday activities. And being like an old school player, playing this game for like more than 5 years now, I think. It kind of. Back then, it was just a lot more like relaxing in that regard. I was like a lot more free with what I want to spend my time on. There was not that much content in the game in the first place, but I feel like I personally don't really have such an issue with Guild War, but with Siege, it's like very time sensitive, and that's something that I really do not enjoy. So that's my take on it.
Okay. What about you, Lucky?
yeah, definitely love-hate relationship with RTA for sure. But I've really enjoyed Special League. I'm really glad they did Nat 4 or less. Got really sick and tired of SWC mode for how many times in a row did we have it?
4?
Anyway,
3?
no, yeah, it was a long time.
a lot.
But it was really good to see Nat 4, and it's I've really enjoyed the last like week or so of it. It's made me rerun my entire account and actually play seriously in it, and it's a lot of fun. You see a lot of units that you don't usually see. You know, Anthros plays a big part in Nat 5 or normal RTA, but he doesn't really play that big of a role here in Nat 4. But it's been a lot of fun, definitely.
I agree. Like this, usually I don't like the Nat 4 only, especially because I didn't take the time to rerun my account, and like I only play Nat 5, so almost that in RTA. Well, before the Lauren and Verde buff, but right now I just rerun my account completely, and I just like it, man. Like, except the people that plays Wada, Melusia, Fran, and Triana in the same team, which I want to kill. Like, but other than that, I think the content is really nice because you're not gonna have to play against someone that just plays 5 LNG units and just press auto and wins whatever you do. So I just think you have to think more in Nat 4 Special League, and I really enjoy it. And I wish they would force a little bit more the players to play, all the players to play, because I think it's what gets the game up and going, right? Like if people continue to play, it's mainly because of RTA and every content that it brings with it. Like I would like Come To Us to implement just a Devilmon reward for whoever does his 10 game placements, right? Just to get people more into the PvP content without forcing them to do the whole season, but just to get them used to the fact that they can play against other players and have fun with it. And it should be a good reward, but not an OP one for those that really don't want to play. But I think a Devilmon per season would be really nice.
Yeah, for me, the thing that I enjoy the most right now, actually, in the last week was same as you guys, Special League. I enjoy it. Maybe it's just been so long that it's just great now, but it's a lot of fun being able to like use different units and not care so much. You know what I mean? Like it's just fun, right? You don't really need to care so much. But I would like to see them, which we've discussed before in the past, a lot more variety, right? Like, hey, this season is light only. This season is dark only. This season is, whatever it is. And even if it's like OP or un-OP or, crazy, it's just Special League. So it's not like it's the end of the world, right? If it's a crap season, but try different things out. And this can lead them to test different things in different units, maybe only allowing certain sets. And it's just brainstorming. They could do so much with it without any repercussions. I don't think the community would give that big of a repercussion for Special League, right? Because I think they actually care how we feel, right? Especially like we talk about Busted Nerfs. They care how we feel. So,
of course.
I mean, I think we can say that decent amount of repercussions would be very minimal for Special League. Another thing that would be cool is, I don't know how they would implement it, but Special League during the regular season would be kind of nice, or more Special League. I mean, just give people an option to play it as a bonus, right? Maybe it doesn't give rewards during the regular season, but something that you can queue into. I think people would definitely like it, right? You can have a champ that's regular RTA, and you can have a champ that's Special League. And you might see some different players that are up there, right? Because it's a different meta, it's different units being used. So it gives some other people that are been playing for a while the time to shine, right? They have a hard time shining in regular RTAs. What about Special League? So that would be kind of interesting to see them do, right, and progress into. The content right now that I think I enjoy the least is probably some of the guild content, just because I don't always have enough time to do everything, and it kind of leaves this lingering kind of disappointment that I have for my guild, right? Because obviously they know we, like, a lot of us don't do it, but we're a lot more casual, but there's a little bit of self-disappointment, right? And I know they're disappointed that I'm not contributing as much as I should. So that's the part that I like the least, but not really sure how they can change that. But overall, I mean, they got some good aspects and some bad aspects. I think Summon War has a little bit for everybody in the game. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
Definitely.
The good thing about Summoners War is like you can be a casual player, not being a hardcore player, and just have fun in the game and summon your scrolls and have maybe lucky Nat 5 LD or stuff like that. And this is really nice. It can fit to every kind of gameplay. And going back on what you said about RTA, I used to do a lot of what I called condition tournament. So there would be a
I remember that.
rule.
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't do it as much, but people used to really like it. And there was one rule that was called the rainbow rule, and you had to bring one monster of each element per draft. So you had to bring that. You couldn't play 2 water units in the same draft. And I think a special league around that would be amazing, because it brings so many new units. And I did tournament with this rule, and it's just crazy to see how people get inventive and creative about their drafts.
Yeah, maybe we got to bring that back and maybe do some more of that as well. Maybe come to us, we'll see some of the ideas that we have through some of the tournaments that we can do, even if they're small ones, right? To see if people like it and start talking about it. That'd be great. Yeah, really nice. Right, that was an interesting topic there. Thank you guys for sharing, what you enjoy the most and what you enjoy the least. I'm actually gonna skip topic number 4 here, which was kind of just buffs and nerfs. I'm gonna go straight to topic number 5, which is kind of like an open discussion. We got about 5-10 minutes left. So anything that you wanted to bring up, is there anything that you guys want to talk about or ask or throw on the board here that you're ever curious about? Could be anything, the game, whatever it is.
Yeah, I would like to ask Marz a question.
Sure.
Oh.
Where are gonna be the championships this year for Summoners War? And if you know, do you have the right to share them or not?
The thing is, I was super scared coming onto this podcast because
because of Junpei and Junpei grilling Marz for info.
Yeah. I'm scared of French people. Yeah.
Well, you work with Shizu, so I understand that.
Yeah. I always sit in the opposite end of the room. Yeah, no. Because I was scared of saying stuff I'm not supposed to be, but I can say everything we're talking about, which is talked about right now, is up in the air. So there are ideas, there are like cities and names being thrown around, but nothing right now is actually fixed.
What's that, Hawaii? Oh my god, it's in Hawaii, guys. Confirmed. Marz told us. Finals is in Hawaii. Yo, thank you, Marz. I think we can trust everybody here.
Hawaii.
Don't tell anybody, guys. That's where they're planning it out. It's in Hawaii.
I mean, for basic knowledge, the last one has been in Europe, Paris. So for people who actually think a little bit, it might not be in Paris. So you can actually cross that off the list.
Even not Europe, I would say, because they did one time in US, one time in Asia, one time in Europe. Yeah. So the logic would be one time in US right now. Like go back to US. Yeah. Because I don't think they have. Well, first of all, they don't have an African server, so that would be that would be difficult to organize it there. But so yeah, I would see it in the US for the world competition.
Yeah, I just said Hawaii. That's in the US.
Just speculating. Yeah.
Yeah, even if Marz know, obviously we know he can't tell us, and even if he did know, which I don't think they even know yet. Honestly, it's only January. That stuff is not to the end of the year. I don't think they know anything for certain. Even if, honestly.
We're like at the start of the year, it's 2020, and basically everything gets thrown out right now. Everything gets prepared, everything gets talked about, and decisions will be made later. That's what I know. So I just know, like in March, we're gonna head to Korea to the headquarters, and actually also the US team comes there, and maybe there is then some information. I'm not sure if it can be shared then, but I guess there it will be like the plan set in stone, more or less, or starting to set in stone.
No worries. We know that you can't share info. By the way, next week I'd like to invite you to the podcast again. We're gonna actually be drinking next week. We're gonna be taking shots every single topic, and we're gonna be discussing some random topics next week. So expect you to be there, Marz. Yeah, we're gonna take,
Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday, 2 or 3 shots per topic.
I just take Wednesday off.
Grill the information out of him. But anything else you guys want to bring up? Any other topics? Something of interest is, did you guys hear about that person, Ray?
Ray?
Yeah. Ray.
Nope.
Raid Shadow Legends. Over 16 million players. Download now. Right now, Raid has a Google Play Store rating of 5. I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored. I'm just kidding. I just had to troll you guys. But that actually is the topic I was gonna bring up. But Raid Shadow Legends actually has a PC client that I've been testing out, and it's been really smooth. Do you guys think if Summoners War did a PC client as well, that would be big, right? That would kind of address people that use emulators, you know what I mean? And since they see Raid as a big game and they've done it and it's successful, it would be interesting to see a PC client for Summoners War as well. And you know, the cool thing about it is that with a PC client for Contuas, I can see them having multiple of their mobile games all in one area, which would actually maybe attract people to play other games as well. That would be very, very nice. The only reason I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends, even though I'm not sponsored right now to play it, is because they have a PC client. That's why I bring this up.
No, I personally think that it's really healthy to like have a lot of competition in like, especially in these sort of games. Like with Summoners War, the last couple of months have been pretty decent with like updates and stuff, and I do like that aspect. And I would hope so. That sounds like a really good idea, because a lot of people, especially like the streamers and stuff, they're pretty much all using PC clients nowadays. So
I use my phone. But yeah, there are people that use emulators, right? And I always tell people it's a risk to use an emulator, right? We just have to let them know it's a risk because they don't like Comptuous doesn't like it. So I mean,
well, maybe it's not gonna be implemented for Summoners War, but maybe for Summoners War RPG that we're waiting since 2017.
I'm waiting for that too.
I mean, we didn't have news about that. Dude, I was so hyped when they announced it that I thought about it over and over for months. Like, oh, what's it going to be?
MMO, dude.
Yeah. And I'm still no news about that.
What I heard about it like a couple years ago was that it's going to have the same units in Summoners War, but it's a completely different game. So that's why it's like a totally different like branch of the game.
So wasn't it an MMO? Wasn't that the structure of it? Wasn't it meant to be like an MMO?
Yeah, like a totally different game.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an MMORPG.
Considering Mart's face, Mart's, next week, Mart's, we're going to have some drinks, Mart's. We're going to talk about the same topics next week, Mart's.
I love the Summoners War entity as well, right? Like the environment. Right. Like I would go for Summoners War anime. When they do trailers and everything, I'm like, dude, I would like to see that in anime actually.
Short film. They did one short film and they stopped. I want some more of those short films, dude. It's not bad. Yeah.
So I would definitely play other games in the environment of Summoners War, for sure.
Yeah, they could just totally branch off. They just need their what is the word for it when you use the characters and the graphics? No, it's not PR. It's
franchise?
Yeah, franchise? Is that the word? There's another word, I think. Chat, you know? I usually ask chat. Chat knows. There's a word for it. IP. I think IP is the word. Nobody said it in chat yet, though. IP, right? I think the Summoners War IP is a really good IP to be able to use for other games or other style of games. Because I think it's pretty well known in the world, so...
Like, imagine a versus fighting game about Summoners War.
Yeah, or tower defense, like just anything with the Summoners War. It's the same thing with how we feel about Pokemon, right? You hear Pokemon, you're like, oh, I'm gonna look. Maybe I don't like it, but I'm gonna look because I know Pokemon, right? So, yeah. Okay. Any thoughts on a PC client, Lucky, or any other topics you want to bring up here?
I just think Mards needs to work on a poker face. He's losing it. I can see. I'm just watching him in the middle of the screen. He's losing
The thing is, I will not say anything, but this year will be interesting. Let's say it like this.
That's good. Okay. Same as every year. That's what they tell me every year, and it's been good.
Very interesting. So
okay. Cool. That's exciting. That's enough tickle. But yeah, next week we're having drinks. Anyways, Lucky, what were you saying?
No, I want to know how much do you earn. So maybe if we put all the money together, we can get you fired. But know something.
I knew it was a mistake to come on here.
Okay. Well, it's good to see that it's in the making and that 2020 is another year for Summoners War. Honestly, 2019 was amazing. Like personally for me, it was really great because I had to cast the World Tournament. It was in Paris. Like the crowd was insane. Like it was my best year as a entertainer, streamer, whatever you call it. I really hope 2020 Summoners War is gonna continue to grow and bring in new people and attract many more users that are not used to the kind of gacha game and just make it even greater. Like I'm happy to see that they didn't give up on their game yet.
Right.
Like they are continuing to develop the business.
It's gotten better and better every year, actually.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing is better and better every year. So
you knew a mobile game would last this long, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
right? Like, it's gonna be
Right.
6 years in
6
April,
years.
man.
can you imagine the
Yeah.
first ever? I don't know how many people there were, but their first ever Comp to Us group, and they're like, "Hey guys, okay, this is what I think they sound like. Hey guys, we're gonna make a hero collecting game. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, they make it, and then they release Summoner's War Sky Arena. No expectations of it being like one of the biggest games ever, and then boom, 5 years later, man. Yeah, it's like one of the biggest mobile games out there. It's nuts, right? Doing tournaments, doing meetups, doing events. It's nuts, dude. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm sure there are people in the company that have been working since then and have definitely seen the game grow to what it is now, which is great.
I'm actually kind of curious. Since we said like 5 years, this game is out next summer. It will be 6 years. How many days actually is it on your profile on your guide? I'm curious.
Let me go look.
I'll have a look after this dungeon run.
Because for me, I have 2,024 days.
1,960. But I had an account before this that I screwed up. That was maybe like a couple weeks more before this one. But 1,960. Wow, you got a lot. 2,000. Jeez. Would you like pre-order? Did you pre-order Summoner's War before it came out? What the heck?
I know. I actually downloaded back at the time. I downloaded a random mobile game, played it for a week, and then deleted it again. So my username is still my head smashing against the keyboard because I didn't expect it to play that long.
Oh my god.
Well, 22 days.
What?
Yeah. No, 1,741 days.
Oh, it's a long time. How about you, Sample?
It's like 1.9. I'm starting it right now. It's like 1.9K.
He's not even playing Summoner's War? Get out of here! How are you not farming right now? What the heck? How about you, Lucky?
I'm at 1,954.
Oh, nice.
1,100, you said?
Well, 1,954.
Okay.
So yeah, we've all been playing for a long time. We've seen the game,
long time.
the game grow
Yeah, man.
over the years. They're doing a good job, but yes, let's let the Reddit community and the community keep pushing them to do more. Right? Keep complaining and keep ranting. I just, just be reasonable, but keep complaining, keep ranting, and keep the game pushing further, guys. I think it's good. I think it's very good. Right, thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast today. I think it was a really good one. If you guys are watching from YouTube, make sure you guys leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment, leave a like. I always go through the comments before the next week's podcast, so feel free to put them in there. We get some great discussions in the comment section. Also, everybody here has a YouTube channel, and I think everybody here has streamed before, right? Right, yeah. Martz? I think you and Sample, you guys have streamed before. But I'll put their YouTube channels down, and I'll put Junpei and Lucky's Twitch stream for you guys to check out. Right, everybody streams and has a lot of content for you guys to enjoy. There's endless content to watch. So make sure you check them out. Thank you guys so much for making the time and joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
See you guys on the next one.